you're an investment bank. If you're storing stuff in there and you're doing or even doing research and you're storing your information there, and you're running all your computations, you do it on Excel, or whatever. But then, you might have a much smarter tool in the cloud. You have to make sure also that that software as a service is being managed correctly and is updated, et cetera.
Right.
Right.
Got it. Yep.
So if you get bad numbers out of that, that's a financial risk, right?
Got it. Yep. Totally makes sense. Sweet. So in the last couple of minutes, about 10 minutes that we have, I wanted to shift gears and talk a little bit about roles, stakeholders, right? Okay. And I'm wondering, so for example, the financial risk management. Let's go back to the trading services workflow, right? So hopping back over to the trading services workflow. If we are considering a cloud platform, who will be at the table to help with that decision? Who are the key decision makers there?
Okay, let's see. So you're going to have your head of technology. You're probably going to have a BA in there because you need to be able to do the analysis and then come up with the proofs or the bake-off between them. The stakeholders, whether if it's a trading desk or, broker-dealer side or it's investment banking side, you're going to need those stakeholders. You're going to need the COO. Right. And also, and then if it gets to the point of decision, then you need the CFO because nothing ever happens without his or her sign-off, right? But it's really, so it's the CTO and the COO, in the final stages. The first stages, you'll have to have the BA first. The BA team will be speaking with the stakeholders just to understand their business, of course, and then they should also be in on the meeting. It's standard operating procedure within, it could be a Prince 2 or even just some sort of agile methodology as they go along to figure out what's needed. But the sign off comes down to, the stakeholder, the COO, the CTO, and then ultimately the CFO on pricing.
Right. So that matches up almost perfectly with what we have developed ourselves. The one question we have here, Garrett, is the COO. What role does he or she play in this decision?
Well, that's about allocation, cost, and personnel within their office. Because you get, because you need to keep people who are working with each particular platform as the experts in how they want to use it.
Yeah. So if there's if we move something to the cloud, then certain personnel, maybe more in demand or less in demand, and the COO is making that resource trade-off.
Yeah. And of course, if a firm has a CIO, then they're definitely involved in that too, right? Because they got to track all the information. Yeah.
Who typically is interested? Who's sort of who's sort of the person who actually is pushing for this is lobbying for this decision to be made, and who is more of maybe a final stakeholder or a purse strings type of person? Just trying to understand the dynamics in the room.
I think the COO knows what their budget is, because that was handed down by the CFO, right? So the COO knows what the budget is. The CIO would be the person who you probably would need to speak to first, right? And mention and talk about that, because they are the ones who are the stakeholders in the data where it's held, how it's managed, and ultimately responsible in many firms as to the quality of the data. Bigger companies, it'll be split up between divisions, but our firm's CIO is the one that's overseeing and has his or her hands in each area.
Got it.
Especially on the fund management side.
Right.
The CTO on the sell side is the one who's going to probably be the one you want to speak to.
Yeah.